Hello, friends. It's Kristen Fagan here with a new episode of Free Spirit Beading. Happy Monday to all of you. I wanted to start by just talking about our friend Sarah Ayler and her family today. Her husband has taken his last breath as of June 1st. So lots of love to all of them in the Ayler house. It's been a really sad journey, and I know so many of you had offered so much love and support to Sarah throughout this really difficult time. She continues to update her Caring Bridge website with journal entries, and so you can find out what's going on there. She also has a GoFundMe that has been up throughout this entire time, and you can go ahead and donate if you are able and you'd like to. That money goes right to her. GoFundMe, I don't think takes anything. When I've done it in the past, I don't think it took anything out, or if it did, it was really minimal. It was maybe just like credit card processing fees. So the GoFundMe is a wonderful place to go ahead and send some support to Sarah and her family if you'd like to. I also had a couple people reach out and ask if they can send her something. We're not going to publicly give Sarah's address out. So if you are someone that would like to send something to our office at Soft Flex Company, Terry Thomas in the office is going to organize anything we receive and make sure it gets over to Sarah. So to do that, if you were interested in sending something, just make sure that it's not time sensitive or perishable, because it might take some time to get to the office and then from the office get to Sarah. But if you want to do that, thank you, Damien. He just posted the address here. Attention, Terry Thomas, for Sarah Ayler. Put for Sarah Ayler on it just so Terry knows to put it aside. So attention, Terry Thomas, for Sarah Ayler, Soft Flex Company, 22678 Broadway Suite 1, Sonoma, California, 95476. Super heartbreaking. There we go. This one is a better one to do, just so that Terry knows that it's for Sarah, and she can go ahead and put that aside and get that over to Sarah in a timely manner. Oh, praying for her and her family. Thank you. Melanie's boyfriend had a brain tumor, so she understands. Really heartbreaking. Really heartbreaking. So fast, and yeah, just a terrible situation all around. They are a wonderful family. We all love Sarah and her family so very much. And so just sending them all lots of love. She's going to continue to be taking some time away from Soft Flex Company. She plans to be back later in July. So I will be hanging out with all of you for our Wednesday videos, as well as some of our extra special videos that we have going on while she's away, just to give her and her family some time to grieve and to be together. So sad. So one of the things that's coming up this week, actually, that is a little extra, in addition to our Wednesday video, is we are going to be doing an Inspired by Pearls collaborative design party featuring some of your favorite designers. You can find the invite for this over at Soft Flex Company's Facebook page. The video is also set up on the Soft Flex Company YouTube channel, so you can go over there and click that you want to RSVP or that you'd like a notification for when we start. Here are the details. It's going to be June 7th, this Friday, starting at 5 p.m. Pacific time. And we're going to have a lot of fun doing that. We've got, I think we have 7 of us that are participating. Let me just see if I can remember. We've got Abby Berta and Heather Powers, Cynthia Thornton, and me, Cassandra Spicer, Danielle Wicks, and Sarah James. I think I caught everybody that will be gathering on Friday to do a fun Inspired by Pearls event for all of you. If you remember our Sundance event a few months ago, it's going to be kind of similar in style. So we're excited to bring you the Pearls version of it. So please join us on Friday. And if you can't catch us live, we'll be live at 5 p.m. Pacific time. If you can't catch us live, you can always catch the replay after. So join us for that. That's going to be a lot of fun. I see a few of you are entering our giveaway for today. We're going to be giving away the Turtle Love Trios, which is our newest trios. It's got the green turquoise, the fluorite, and the purple amethyst. I'm going to be using this trios today in today's knitted project. But we just loaded these up last week, and we're going to give away one pack to a lucky winner. You must be here at the end of the video to win. We have sold out of the Turtle Love kit, of the Turtle Love strand, and of the Turtle Love bead mix. So the trios is the only thing left. I knew these colors would be a fan favorite, and so they're just so, so pretty. So at least we still have the trios to give away. And our next kit is Book Lovers. That is going to be revealed at the end of June. We're already 60% sold out of the Book Lovers kit. And we totally sold out of the strand, I think by Thursday, which was nuts. We had it in our special. We were giving one away for free with $59 or more orders. Many of you bought a strand and got a strand free. Some of you even bought 2 strands and got a strand free because it was such a pretty, pretty strand. And so we ran out of that in 2 days. And we ended up switching our sale on Friday, which is now going through till tomorrow, to get $10 off your order of $59 or more. Spend $59 and get $10 off. There's no coupon needed. Offer is good for retail only, not valid with any other order discounts. And this will end on June 4th. We had to quickly come up with a new sale because those Book Lovers strands just flew off the shelf. Really, really pretty. And thanks, Scott. Scott says, beautiful necklace I'm wearing today. I'm wearing this necklace because I'm going to be doing some knitting. And this has a little strand of knitted Soft Flex beading wire in the front. And then that's what I hung that pendant on. So we haven't done any knitting projects in quite some time. I had an old friend, hi Lucy, if you happen to be watching, she messaged me over the weekend and she said, hey, I really need a knitting recap. I want to give it a go again, and I haven't done it in a while. So I sent her to our YouTube channel. We have an entire... My mailman came. We just can't get through a video without the dogs barking lately, can we? Thanks, Ethan. Ethan's going to go grab the mail. So Lucy said she needed to learn how to knit again. She wanted a refresher. And I sent her to our YouTube playlist because we have about over 20 videos that we've done with the knitting spool doing knitted projects with Soft Flex Beading Wire as well as Soft Flex Craft Wire. So I sent her over there, but then I thought maybe it's time to do another knitting video, right? It's like we haven't done one in a while. We have a great new trios, and I'm going to use these 3 colors to create a little knitted piece with you. You can use 1 color of Soft Flex Beading Wire. You can use 2 colors of Soft Flex. You can use all 3. And since we're got this new fun trio to play with, I figure I'll do 3 today. I'm going to turn you down to my beading table and show you some examples of other things you can do with it too. Yes, those dogs are definitely doing their job. They always bark whenever they hear someone out front, especially if they ring the doorbell. So they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. Yeah, this is probably new to quite a few of you, I would think, because there was a time when we were doing knitting videos all the time. And I don't feel like that's been the case for a while. So I think this will be a fun new technique for a lot of you. And you can do it, like I said, with Soft Flex Beading Wire. You could do it with any of our diameters. Very fine, medium, heavy. They're all just going to give you a slightly different cord. You can even do it with our Flex, which is actually a wonderful product to do it with because our Flex is really affordable, and you tend to use a lot of wire for this. So if you wanted to make an entire necklace with this knitting, going and checking out our Flex line might be something that would make sense for you. And then you can also do it with craft wire. So let's go ahead and switch down to my beading table. I've got a couple of bracelets on that I've done in the past. This one uses two colors, the purple and the turquoise. And then it's got some handmade wire cones with Soft Flex craft wire. Just a couple of beads and a clasp on that one. Here's another one that's made with two colors. This is the fluorite and the green turquoise, which it gives it a very beachy, soft feel. And actually these two together are our Turtle Love trios. This one has some cones on the end, some regular cones, and a few beads in between here. And the nice thing about this is it has a little bit of a give, not a huge give, but enough of a give that in this particular design, I didn't end up putting a clasp on it. I just roll it on and off because there's just a tiny bit of stretch because the Soft Flex is flexible. So then I just roll it back on. So that one's no clasp. And then this one, I put in a little toggle clasp. Just so you could see there's two different. Both of these, this one might have been pre-video days. So I think we might have had like a blog about it. This one I definitely did in a video too, in that knitting playlist on YouTube. So you can take a look at a few different ways. Sarah's got some really great designs as well. This one was just one color. This is the antique brass, or this might have actually been our bronze color. Antique brass would be similar, but a little bit darker. And this is what it looks like with just one. And when you only have one, it's even more flexible. You have a little bit of give there, the most amount of give on that. Kind of reminds you of hollow mesh from our friends at Silver Silk. Kind of gives a similar feel. And I just added a pendant to the front and then some beads to the back on that one. I'm going to show you because everyone always asks, can you add beads? Yes. I'm going to show it to you with just the wire today, but you can add beads a couple different ways. This is doing that one hollow mesh, one strand with beads dropped in the middle. So when you're making your cord like this, before you tighten up on the ends, you would drop your beads down the center. And this one, I believe, is on a video as well. And this one has handmade little wrapped cones with the Soft Flex craft wire. Here's another one that used two strands, so it's a little bit stiffer than this one is. But I was still able to get some fire polish beads. I just dropped them down the center. And again, there's some handmade wrapped cones on that one. This one is one strand and it had crystals that were strung while knitting. So these weren't dropped in the core. These were actually knitted on onto the bracelet. Super pretty. There's definitely a video for this one as well. And this one just uses regular cones. These were ones that we had gotten from Tierra Cast. in the past. So pretty. And this is one of my very first ones. So you can see my tension is not great on this one. It's a little wonky, but I still love it. And I can still stretch it and roll it over, and you don't really notice it as much on my bracelet. But that is something just to note, you know, when you're starting, you might have some wonky spaces like that, that the tension's a little bit off. And then as you get better and practice, your tension will get a lot more what's the word? Consistent. And I think most of these I use the 5-pin. So our knitting spools, which I'm going to use today, is the 3-pin. We have them in 3 sizes: 3-pin, 4-pin, and 5-pin. When I first started playing with knitting spools, I really loved the 5-pin. I liked the thicker band that you would get. The only difference between them is the thickness. So this one here is a 3-pin. These are all 5-pin, and then a 4-pin is just in the middle. All of the styles that we have, we've got 3 different instruction styles on our website. You can use them on the 3, the 4, or the 5. The only difference is the thickness of your actual band or your cord that gets created. So these 2 are done on the 3-pin. And then these were done on the 5. Where have I been hiding these? I know, I haven't done these in a while. I have not done them in a while. It's really fun. These are 2 colors, tanzanite and dark blue lapis, with some big end caps and then some beading done up the one side. Here, I put the clasp here, but you can always put the clasp kind of in the corner too, and then bead it around. I don't know. Play with it. Oh, I have one more. This one is definitely on a video. And I've done this one with Delica beads. Look how fun those are. So this is very similar to the crystal one, where I beaded on the actual strand, but these are kind of chunky, large bicones, and then these are very uniform, tiny beads. So they just lined up really nicely in those channels. Isn't that cool? I love this one. And I love the like chartreuse green. This is done with the Econoflex spring green color, which I think we have on closeout. And then it combined it with this really fun kind of cranberry color. I know, I've had them hiding in boxes because there's so much jewelry around, you know? So this is a little piece that I did earlier to get ready for the video. I'm gonna finish the bracelet with this. I think it'll be a bracelet. It could also be a necklace if you wanted it kind of like the necklace I'm wearing today. Have this be like your focal and then hang pendant, or you can hang little charms or something from it, little drops kind of coming down, or you can use it as a piece of bracelet. I don't know which yet, so we're going to put that aside and decide. I'm going to go ahead and take off the plastic pieces of these 3 colors in the Turtle Love Trios. All of our Trios packs come with 3 10-foot spools of Soft Flex Beading Wire. If you're using the 5-pin, which is our widest pin, if you use all 10 feet, you're only going to get about 3 inches of length, and then you can use that as like half of a bracelet or like the centerpiece on my necklace. Let me show you, because this one actually was done with, 2 colors on the 5-pin. And then I used two 10-foot spools. So you don't get a very long cord with the 5-pin because you're using a lot of wire to create this extra thick piece. So with the 4-pin, you'll probably get an extra inch. Maybe you'll get 4 inches. With the 5-pin, with the 3-pin, probably get about 5 inches. So it's not going to make an entire bracelet, or necklace, but you'll be able to use it as sort of a fun focal or like a half and half bracelet, like many of the ones that I showed where you have half of it knitted, half of it beaded. Or even something like this, if you decide on adding a big focal and some large area of craft wire, you can get away with like a 5-inch knitted piece. If you want them to be longer, use our 100-foot spools. So I love to use the 100-foot spools when I'm doing any knitting project if I don't know how long I want the piece to be, or if I want it to be like an entire necklace, kind of something like this, where you want it to really be the entire thing. Grab a 100-foot spool for that. And then this way you can just keep knitting until you have the length you need and you're not going to run out of your wire. I know Sarah has crimped before, like adding extra wire. I think she even did that in a really cool kind of ombre design. So you can crimp some extra wire onto it if you run out of wire. But I would think working with like the larger spools would be your best bet. So I'm just going to grab a little bit of these so that I can gather them all together. This is the green turquoise, the fluorite, and the purple amethyst. They are all together in our Turtle Love trios. And I'm going to use the 3-pin knitting spool. You can find both the wire and the spool over at softflexcompany.com. Go ahead and push my wire through this center. You'll see I'll come out the bottom. I'm going to make sure all 3 colors are, there's the fluorite. All 3 colors are together coming out of the bottom. And then I'm going to pull enough to give a nice tail that I can prop it up and hold this with my finger. I'm not holding it super tight. I'm keeping a little bit of slack down here because you need this to go up and down in the beginning. I'm not going to be showing the 4-pin. I'm only going to be showing the 3-pin. The knit that I'm going to do, you can do on any of them, the 3, the 4, or the 5. But I'm just going to show the 3-pin because it'll work up a lot quicker. It'll give me a longer piece because I'm not making as large of a core. And I only have 3-pin or 5-pin here in my studio. So I have my pins numbered 1, 2, and 3. And I did it this way, counterclockwise, because I'm going to wrap around each peg clockwise, but then I'm going to move counterclockwise across the spool. So what I mean by that is I'm going to take all 3 wires. If you were just using 2 colors, you would have 2 here. If you were using 1 color, you would just have 1 here. But I'm going to use all 3, and I'm going to wrap it clockwise around my pin. And then I'm going to move counterclockwise on the spool to get to number 2. And then I'm going to wrap clockwise around that pin. And then I am going to move to number 3. So going around 1, down to 2, going around 2, across to 3, wrapping around there. Now I've got all 3 pins have the wire looped around. So my next step is I'm going to go on the outside of this pin. I'm not creating a loop. I'm going on the outside, and then I'm going to hold it somehow with my fingers over here. So I'm now holding the bottom and I'm holding this top piece. And you're not going to have to hold both for very long, but you do have to do it for like the first 1 or 2 loops. So now I'm going to go under 1, grab this loop that I did. This was the first pass I did. And this is why you need a little slack down here, is I'm going to grab this loop and I'm going to go up and over the pin. And then I'm going to pull on my wire tails, and that will pop that into place. And I'm going to repeat that on number 2. So I have these wires are the ones that are connected to my spool. They are going to go around this loop above the loop that I already have there. You can try, Lydia. The thing is, you have to then pull it. So you're only really holding it for a minute. You want to make sure to hold it with enough slack so that you can kind of pull it up and down. And then you're going to want to pull it to tighten it once you're done. So you can try putting tape if you want to, but you only hold it for a moment. I will say using 2 or 3 colors is almost a little easier to get started because the wire doesn't pull back as much. When you're using 1 color, there's a lot less tension, so it kind of slides back a little bit more easily. So that's probably the only benefit of using multiple colors, though, other than it looks cool, because in other cases, it's a little tougher to maneuver all these colors. So I'm going to move to 2. I'm going to take the wire that is loose. I'm going to go above this loop here on the pin, pull it kind of towards 3, and then I'm going to hold that. I don't have to hold this down here anymore. I can just let that hang. It's only that first loop where you have to like hold that one. So I'm going to go and grab the loop underneath. I'm going to go up over that pin, and then I'm going to pull my tension down. You can do bead stoppers too. I did it the other day. I did bead stoppers. They're not gonna, I mean, you really still have to hold it because you don't want your wires to pop back up. But as long as your bead stopper doesn't fit in here, it'll probably help you to keep it down. So yeah, you could use a bead stopper if you want. So now we're back to number 1 again. So now I've had 1 pass through all of them, and we're just going to continue doing the same thing. There's a loop on the pin already. We're going to take these wires, go above that loop, hold it into place with my finger, grab the loop from underneath, pull it out and over the pin. And then I pull the wires down from the bottom. And I go to the next. Take it above the loop, hold it in place. Use that stylus to grab the loop up and over. We have 3 different knitting styles instructions on our website. I can never remember which one this is, but this is the one I do all the time. This one's my favorite. This is my go-to. It's like riding a bike. I just always come back to this. And I feel like it looks like a Viking knit when it's done. Somebody else who's saying that, Hope is saying that she has used tape to start and that has been helpful. So now as you get going, this tension here starts to build, and pulling these out and over can get a little bit tougher when you're using this many wires. This is where using just 1 wire can actually be easier once you get going. but one wire, it can be the little more challenging in the beginning because those wires want to bounce back a little bit. You probably see on on some videos if you watch some of the older ones where I do just use one. It is a great spool. Terry says, I love the spool. My father made one for me out of an old wood sewing spool. That's fantastic. These are really good quality spools. I've seen some, kind of plastic ones and stuff on the market, and these are beautifully made. They are handmade by a designer that I think Scott and Mike had met years and years ago at the bead shows. And I mean, I can be pretty hard on these with the wire, like really pulling on this stylus and really pulling on these wires up and over. And so it's just a beautiful tool that it withstands that really well. It's also super comfortable to hold. It is super relaxing. Natalie is saying it looks super relaxing to do. It's really, I've done these a lot on road trips, especially because my husband likes to be the driver. So I'm just hanging out in the passenger seat, and I will, especially if you get it started, get a couple of things started, and then you can bring it with you, easily just pick up where you left off. And once you get those first loops down, it's really just the same pattern the entire way. Now, if you wanted to add beads, you could do it a couple of different ways. You can add beads to the spools before you start anything, like however many you need to do. I don't know, maybe you need to do 30 on each strand of a bead. It'll depend on the size of bead. If you've got small beads, you're going to need a lot more. If you've got larger beads, you won't need quite as many. But you would want to string on each of these strands first, start your knit, and then you can pick them up and add them, similar to what you would do if you're doing kumihimo and you're adding beads to that cording. The other way, this is going to be pretty tight and you're not going to see the center much. But if you're using just the one strand of beading wire, like I've done on some of these, and especially if you're using the larger 5-pin, then what you would do is this would have a lot bigger area when you take your cording out, and then you can just drop your beads on the inside. And these beads are not strung on the inside. I literally just dropped them in. The reason why I like that is because it allows the flexibility. If you didn't want this to be stretchy at all, then you could string your beads and then drop them in strung, and that would make this much tighter and wouldn't allow for that. I know. When's it going to come out of the bottom? That is the only downfall of the length of this spool, is it takes a little while before you start to see your work down there. But the length of this spool is so comfortable to hold, so I wouldn't really want it any shorter. I've probably had this spool for going on at least 15 years, if not longer. I just had my Soft Flex anniversary. I was hired in May of, what year was it? Scott, do you remember? They do last forever. I'm trying to remember if it was 2001. Does that sound right? I think it is, because that would mean I'm on, I think it's 2003. May 2003 is when I started with Soft Flex Company. So I am on 21 years now, which is pretty amazing. I know, Damien, you've been here for almost that long. Thomas has. as well. And Sarah just had her 25-year anniversary. 2023. I know. I'm trying to see if I can get it to come out of the bottom before I oh, look at that. There it is. Let's get a few more in. And we also have Miss Shelley in the office and Rosa. I mean, we are all like lifers. Once you get in, you can't get out. Almost 17 years for Damien. Amazing. Amazing, amazing. There we go. Now we're starting to see the fruits of our labor. Isn't that fun? "21 years with 2 to grow on." Yep. Okay, so if I was ready to cut this one off and say, okay, that's enough. Let's see how much spool, how much wire I've got left. A decent amount, actually. I was curious how much I would get out of the 10-foot spools. I'm going to guess that I'd probably get at least 5 inches of finished knit, if not a little bit more. They seem like they're about halfway done. But I'm going to go ahead and cut it off here so that I can show you how to finish it. And then we can make something. So I'm going to give myself a bit of a tail. You don't have to make it quite this long, but I don't know what I want to do with this piece yet. So I will cut it off from the spools. You do have a lot on this side. You end up having more usually on the bottom side because you have to kind of fold it up. So you have the length of your spool plus the part you fold up. And now what I want to do is I want to go, my wire's coming out of number 1 here. So I want to come to number 2 and I'm going to add my stylus in here to make some space. And then I want to take these 3 strands and get them in that loop. And this way I can pop this off that pin and the wire's going through that loop, so it's connected. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm just going to grab my stylus and kind of poke it into that loop on number 3, making myself some space. And if I can get it without the stylus, I'll do that too. Usually the first one I need it because it's a little tighter. Let's see. You could even pop it up. You just want to get those 3 wires through that loop and then slide your stylus out. And now it's caught that one. And then we have this last one to do. Did I get them all through? I did. Okay. And then I'll gotta pop that up. And this one should already be good because that's where we started. So there's what mine looks like. I'm just going to go ahead and pull it through. And then if I, on this side, tend to like to tighten up any loops that are hanging, I can use a pair of pliers to kind of pull it a little tighter and then kind of go back and capture any of these loops that are there we go. Kind of tighten that up. And there's the piece we just made. I know the purple and it's like purple, you can see this would be purple and turquoise. And then this was the one we did today. So it's got a little bit of that little fluorite in there, which just softens it a little bit. And these look like, this one actually looks like the one that I think is Viking knit. And I think that's a different knit than the one I did today. So this is the one I did today. And then this one looks a little more like Viking knit to me. So that's one of the other styles. I think we have a tips and tricks page that shows all three styles on there. So you can kind of take a look and try a few different styles. This one I feel like is the most beginner friendly. So I would start with this one if you're trying it for the first time and then move up to doing one like that. So now I have two pieces. What am I going to do with these pieces? So the shorter one that I just made is 3.5 inches. And I still have a good amount of wire. Not a video unless my dogs make noise and I drop stuff. Just drop the stylus. I still have a good bit of wire on there to make that a little longer. And then this one is 4.5 inches. So I was thinking I might use these little end caps that were in the Turtle Love bead mix because I still have that bead mix out here. I was thinking of adding those. I was also thinking about adding these purple beads. It is like a sage green. We call it fluorite, but it does look like a sage green. It's like the fluorite you find in the gemstones. Don't you think that would be pretty with it? Those purpley beads on one side. Maybe the turtle. Let's see what else I got here. I have some spacer beads from the bead mix too. Let's see how many, if I've got enough to go in between here. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and crimp on the two ends. And I'm going to do that so that I can cut off 2 of the 3 wires and just leave 1 wire to string on. I think I'm probably going to leave the purple since I've got these pretty purple beads. So I'm going to string a 2x2 millimeter crimp tube on all 3 strands. And this will get covered up. It'll end up being underneath my little bead cap. So whether or not you want to use a magical pair of crimpers or a regular pair of crimping pliers, that doesn't really matter because it's going to get covered up. And yeah, you probably could do this with other types of material. I have done it with our beading wire and our craft wire specifically. But I'm sure knitting spools have been around forever, and they're traditionally used with more like yarn, I think. I know a lot of you tend to watch these and say, I remember doing that when I was little. So I cut off the two other colors. I'm just leaving the purple. And then there is my little cap that I'm going to put on the end. And we tend to like cones or using craft wire or something just to kind of give your end a little bit of a finished look. But you could just crimp it and leave it like that too. I mean, that would totally be okay. I think those would be pretty together. Let's see. I didn't calculate length yet. We'll just see how long this goes. And will it be too long with the turtle? It might be. If he's too long, I'll take the turtle out, but I'm going to just try it with them in there first. I'm pretty sure it's going to be too long. Oh, yeah. Let's just go with the purple beads for now and see how that looks lengthwise. So I might even be too long with all of the purple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Depending on what kind of clasp I want to do. If I want to just make it roll on without a clasp, I think this would be okay, actually. It's so cute. A few of you want me to keep the turtle. So let me go ahead and take 2 purples off. And save those for maybe an earring. Put the turtle in there instead. The turtle does look cute. It's turtly awesome. All right, let me see how long this is now. Now I have a pretty big wrist, so this is just a little longer than 7 inches. I think if I wanted to not put a clasp on it and just roll it on, I think that this will work for me. So I'm going to give that a try. Let's go ahead and put a bead stopper on that side. I'm going to come over onto this side now and add crimp tube here. Slide all 3 wires on, pull that crimp tube down, all the way down, as close as I can get it to my knitted piece. Gonna go ahead and crimp using my magical crimpers, just kind of get that nice and secure. And then I'm going to trim off everything but the purple, just because that's the color I left on the other side. So I'll keep the purple on this side too. And then I'm going to add on this there. And I'm thinking I'm going to add another crimp. I'm just trying to figure out where I want to put it. Let's slide that little one there. Let's see if it'll look okay right here. So to connect it, I'm going to slide on a crimp, and then I'm going to slide the other side of the bracelet down through that crimp. And if I wanted to, I could also do the same thing over here if I wanted to make it a little more symmetrical. It just would be a little trickier because I have to make sure I get my wires on this side too. Or I might just be like, you know what? Will anyone notice it there? And before I crimp, I'm gonna actually put my bead stopper on and just make sure I can slide it on and make sure I don't actually need a few more beads to do the slidey part. It is okay if it fits a little wider. No, that worked well, actually. Just to show you, that fits perfectly when I get it on there. So I'm going to stick with what I have. I'm going to stick with this idea, and am I going to do it there? Maybe I should do it on the other end. I think I'm going to put this spacer bead on this side. I think I like that better. I think it'll disappear under the spacer bead a little bit better. All right, pull that as tight as I can. I could even probably slide this one through the spacer like that, and that'll be even better. See, I slid this wire through the crimp and the spacer bead, so it'll pull it even tighter together. And then I got to get it in position to crimp. Let's get that crimp inside my crimping pliers. I'm not going to push it down yet. I'm just going to make sure I could pull these wires nice and tight. I need 3 hands. There we go. There we go. Okay. Now I'm going to trim off the shorter piece. And trim off the longer piece too. And voila. So cute. Okay, now I'm going to carefully, maybe I'll put it on this side, roll it on. And now, woohoo! So cute. I love that I put the turtle in there. Good call, everyone. It's perfect. So you can find the turtle was in the Turtle Love kit. If you happen to get one, you should have some of those. The purple and the spacer beads, as well as the caps, were all in the Turtle Love bead mix. Both the kit and the bead mix have sold out. So if you missed out on those, you'll have to supplement some other beads you have in your stash. And then this is the trios, the Turtle Love trios, which you can still get because we have all of these wires available. So cute. Any cones or caps will work. You can also do your own little wrapping, wild wrapping. This one's a bit of a messy wrap. This one's also a bit of a messy wrap. I love a good messy wrap. You'll see on these, actually what I did, because I made the wrap and then I crimped it on the outside of the cone. This one's crimped underneath the cone, so you can always do it before or after. Again, this one when the cone was strung on, then a bead, and then I did a crimp. So you could pull the wires through. That's really great when you're only using one wire. So if you only have one wire, you can just pull it right through and you can just string right on it. When you're using multiple wires like I did today, then doing the crimp underneath your cap and then trimming off any extra, which you can then hold on to, of course, right? So these are little pieces that I cut off. There's quite a bit here. If I ever have pieces that are like 5 inches or more, I always hold on to them because you can use these to make all sorts of earrings and things like that. I see someone said that the camera was black. Kim is saying she's not getting any audio or video. I'm not sure what's going on, Kim, but we're seeing everything looks okay on our end. Well, I'm sorry you're having trouble. Maybe you can come back and watch the replay, and then you'll be able to see everything okay on YouTube. All right, let's go pick our winner. Let's see. If you haven't entered yet, go ahead and use the hashtag trios to enter to win a trio set of your very own. You'll get the 3 colors I used today in 3 10-foot spools. It's the green turquoise, the purple, and the fluorite. I've got about 78 of you watching, 56 of you entered. So if you haven't entered yet, now's your chance. I love seeing what you guys are making with the Soft Flex, the Turtle Love jewelry making kit in the VIB studio group. Here's the necklace I made last week. I'm thinking about making these little earrings to go with it, and possibly adding this little spindle. I don't know. I was like, do I want to add this little spindle to the front? I think that could be really cute. And then it will go really well with those earrings. Cute, cute. Such a cute kit. I love the book lovers kit coming up. So make sure to grab yours while we still have them in stock. We're 60% sold out. And there's quite a few fun extras happening in that kit to inspire you to think out of the jewelry making box into some fun crafty things. But I won't say any more than that. All right, let's go ahead and bring our giveaway up on the screen. Woohoo! Here we go. Let's see. Dana says, I like it. Add the spindle. Yes, add the spindle. I think it, thanks. I was hesitant, but I do think it kind of gives a nice addition to the design and will match the earrings really well. So thanks for encouraging me to go ahead and add that spindle. All right, here we go. We're going to draw our winner. Let's see who it is today. Who is going to win our Turtle Love Trios? You must be here to win. Roberta Lee on Facebook. Make sure to let us know in the comments that you're here. Terry can't wait to see the book lovers kit. Lydia, I'm worse than Sarah keeping secrets. Or should I say she's worse at keeping secrets than me? How do we do, right? I'm trying not to give too much away, but I love surprises and secrets. Roberta is here. Hooray! Congratulations, Roberta. Please go ahead and send us an email at info@softflexcompany.com and let us know your shipping address. And that way we will get your Turtle Love Trios prize out to you. Oh, did you miss the beginning, Zach? I missed you. Sorry you missed me in the beginning. You'll have to watch the replay to see what we made today. We had a lot of fun. We made this cute turtle knitted bracelet. Love, love, love. Apparently, I tend to knit with these colors, don't I? I have to broaden my horizons. So check back with me on Wednesday. We'll have our next video jewelry make along on Wednesday at 3 p.m. Pacific time. I'm not sure if I'm going to have someone joining me or not yet. I'm going to reach out to a couple people and see if they're available. Otherwise, you'll just get me this week. We have another live sale on Thursday at 1 p.m. Pacific time. And then on Friday, we've got Joyce at 9:30 a.m. for Spill the Beads. And then we'll have our special event, Pearl Trend Design Party with a bunch of our friends at 5 p.m. Pacific time in the evening. So busy, busy week this week. Be sure to come hang out with us. Mark your calendars. Here's the details for the Inspired by Pearls event. June 7th at 5 p.m. Pacific time. And then here is our sale. Get $10 off your order of $59 or more up until tomorrow, Tuesday, June 4th at midnight. You'll also get free shipping on US online orders over $65. So don't miss that. Great time to pick out that knitting spool if you don't have one yet. These don't really go on sale very often, if ever, actually. So like really just an occasional tool sale, you might find them. So this week, it's a great time to grab one because you'll get $10 off your order of $59 or more. All right. Thanks, everybody, for joining me today. Lots of love to all of you out there, and I will see you on Wednesday. Bye.